All right, guys, welcome back into another PGA DFS video. My name's Eric Balzide. I'm going to be getting into the top picks here for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. In this video, we're going to be talking about some of the core plays. We're going to be getting into the course preview, which players have the best course history, key stats, and whatnot. We're also going to be getting into some fades as well. But as always, I like to do that quick recap of the previous week. And last week, really, it was another solid week. You know, the first month of the season has been a little bit better than I expected. Typically speaking, at the start of the year, and at the start of the new PGA season, we see a lot more higher variance. And really the only extreme amount of variance that we saw was at the AMX, where it's typically the highest variance tournament of the year. So pretty good stuff so far. Luke List, 66-1 outright bet. And I'm honestly really proud of that, guys. Narrowed the field down to 2% of the field on my betting card. So I highlighted 3 players. Mark Leishman, who, you know, honestly could have probably won as well if he would have made some putts. And same for Jon Rahm. And then Luke List. So awesome to see there. That was an awesome playoff as well, with Will Zalatoris' putt literally just missing right at the end. I mean, that's a bad beat for him. It is. It was a bad putt all in all, but that's rough to not see that one drop for him. But pretty solid week. And if we just kind of go back to the first round leader bet, Billy Horschel, top 8 pick for the first round lead on his course specific, and then Jon Rahm as well. Ended up having the first round lead. He was the top player most likely to have, the first round lead. And since we've come out with that tool, it's hit it 100% of the time. And that was at the start of 2022. So not too far, but you look at STOC, the Sony, that's, 2 for 2 there. But then you look at the AMX, 3 for 3. And then you look at last week, 2 for 2 because of the course specific stuff. So pretty awesome stuff there. I'm excited for that. Also, the Showdown dominance continues. So first and second were pretty easy. The second one, Cameron Young came up clutch for 9-5 and 9-5 Nation. 1% own on that slate. And then, I don't know if you guys remember this, my goal at the start of the year was to have a 9-5 Nation member take down a GPP at least 3 times in 1 month. And it was a close one. It came down. We had done that at the STOC. I think someone won in the second round and someone won in the final round. And then it came through Sunday, clutch up. A lot of people know him on Twitter and whatnot. So awesome stuff there. It was sweet to see. But we did it. Goal met in the first month. I mean, that is absolutely insane. It was awesome. But just talking about the player pool real quick, I'm actually pretty proud of that as well, because while we did have a lot of players miss the cut, but they were low exposure plays. They were GPP only plays. And so just talking about it. So between the core plays and high exposure plays and the mid exposure plays, only 2 missed cuts. Can you guess who they were? I bet you can't. If you guys aren't members. Adam Hadwin was one, and I liked him as a pick because of his price point. I thought he was a safe play, and really, he just didn't do anything on the easier course. And then Corey Connors, he didn't bounce back. I thought he would bounce back. He didn't. It ended up being Michael Thompson and Mark Hubbard bouncing back from their bad week. Taylor Gooch did fine as well. But notice the names I didn't mention there. Tony Finau, Aaron Wise, Max Homa. Those were all players in which were a little bit chalkier than I expected, and that's because they're a little bit riskier plays than I expected. You look at someone like Tony Finau, who I think he was the highest owned player in cash. That was really shocking to me. One, because obviously Mark Leishman was kind of the go-to play, I thought, in that price point range, and that's kind of why I didn't end up on him as much as I thought. But he was the 26th best staff in the field last week, and sure, the best course history, that makes sense. But man, for people to see, 26th best staff and just go for it, that was kind of weird to me. And that being said, he hadn't been that bad of a bad stat fit going into that tournament in the past 4 years either. So it was just kind of a weird thing there. Didn't really see him coming as the chalk play. And by Wednesday, or Thursday morning, he ended up being a player that I was telling people, I just think his ownership's too high. I just don't think I can make that play this week. And that ended up paying off. So, pretty good stuff from last week, but it's going to be the start of the new month coming up here, and that brings up just a new content thing that I want to get into real quick, and then we're going to get into the picks and stuff for you. I do want to mention this. We are going to be doing the Employee of the Month. So I put a Twitter poll out there asking, hey, who's going to be the 9-to-5 Player of the Month? Because each year we've kind of had a 9-to-5 Player of the Year. A few years ago it was Scott Piercy, just really always too cheap and just dominating. Webb Simpson, Harris English, Corey Connors. all these people that have been kind of underowned by the DFS community and by DraftKings, FanDuel, and whatnot, not getting priced up enough, not getting the appreciation. Well, I kind of wanted to make a content segment for that. So the employee or the 9 to 5 golfer of the month is going to be Seamus Power. So Seamus Power actually did have the first round lead for us in one of those events. He had 3 starts and he had an average finish of 10th. And that really continues a nice stretch of golf for Seamus Power, 9 to 5 for quite a while. So pretty awesome stuff there from Seamus Power. Other players that were mentioned there were Sungjae Im. He kind of got knocked because Sungjae Im, well, he missed a cut for us at the AMX, which really just looks like a random miscut, like kind of we expected for that tournament. Luke Lisp, just because he won. And then Billy Horschel, because casually sneaky good play for us. But let's get into the strategy for this week. I'm excited. Let's go. So a little update I made here, guys, a little course preview breakdown for you. So AT&T Pebble Beach. So the past winners have been Daniel Berger, Nick Taylor, Gary Woodland, Phil Mickelson, and Ted Potter. I want to focus on Nick Taylor, Daniel Berger, and Gary Woodland because when they won, they were top 5 picks in the 9 to 5 player pool that week. So kind of a predictable tournament in which we can kind of know what the key stats are. We know that we're looking at the correct key stats. We can nail the winner. Average cut has been 1 under par, and the average win score has been 14 under par. So not that easy to score on. This is going to be a 3-course rotation. So Pebble Beach is going to be the main course. A little bit slower greens. It is a seaside style course. Par 72, and it is a shorter track. Now remember, for the U.S. Open, they turned one of the par 5s into a par 4. That was a par 71. This will be playing as a par 72. Spyglass kind of plays the same as Pebble Beach. Don't have to worry about that too much. But the easiest course, if you're doing showdown slates or maybe you're trying to do some first round leader bets, Monterey Peninsula is going to be the course that you want to go out and target the most. All right, just looking over the key stats for this week. Why have we been successful? Well, we know which key stats to look at. Birdie to bogey ratio. The average winner had a rank 2.4 in that category. Par 5 scoring 7.6. Now, yes, par 4 scoring as well, but I do want to look at players that struggled as well, and players that struggled did not do well in par 5 scoring. We could be looking at good drive percentage as well. Getting into course history, Daniel Berger, Jason Day, Kevin Streelman. Honestly, guys, there's a lot of golfers with great course history. Look at someone like Nick Taylor, Jordan Spieth. Those are other golfers with great course history. Phil Mickelson, former winner as well. But just getting into the recent form, there's a lot of quality good golfers right now on the top end, and then it really falls off. So recent form, not a big thing. But just talking about this week's strategy, guys. We want to focus on upside and safety. With that, you're going to want to target the 7K range. Why? Because there's a lot of players this week kind of in the 7K range that are casually checking all the boxes this week, where we look at course history, staff fit, and recent form, top 30 in that. But that was a quick strategy breakdown. Let's get into the top picks of this week. All right, guys. So kind of a quick preview there. I kind of hope you guys enjoyed that. It was a little bit easier, I think, to break it down that way. I don't know what you guys think, but I kind of enjoyed that. But the first player I want to start off with is actually going to be Patrick Cantlay. And I hate to do this, guys. The first player on the slate, he's actually going to be a 9 to 5 core play for me. Okay, so we're pulling him up here on the player profile here. So Patrick Cantlay, why is he going to be a core play for me? Well, one, because we have that 3-course rotation, okay? The 3-course rotation means that we get 3 starts out of every golfer. With that, you can kind of do more of a studs and duds approach. You can kind of take in a little bit more risk. So with that, you can afford to pay up for someone like Patrick Cantlay, who's really just checking all the boxes this week. Specialist rating, first. Stat rank, first. Recent form rank, first. Course history ranked 6th. Ooh, getting knocked a little bit. Actually, second best in the 9 to 5 model, and that's because Daniel Berger's really been popping up as well. But Patrick Cantlay is someone that I'm going to be targeting a decent amount here. So Patrick Cantlay has finished 3rd, 11th, 35th, and 21st. Specialist stats are popping up as well. We look at his recent form. Recent form has been very solid. 9th, 1st, 11th, and 23rd. So yeah, I was kind of worried about what he would do in his first start back. And he went out and played well. So, yeah, I don't think we really have to worry about Patrick Cantlay as a play. He's going to be someone I'm going to be going out of my way to play a lot this week. And you look at the STOC finish, had a 4th place finish there as well. So, yeah, no real reason to fade Patrick Cantlay. Look at ball striking 10th. Good drive percentage first. Bogey avoidance, which I want to look at that a little bit more than birdie to bogey ratio because, well, I don't think we have to worry about capturing upside too much. I'm a little bit worried about some players potentially missing the cut and ruining some GPP upside. So I'm going to be looking at bogey avoidance instead of birdie to bogey ratio. Those two kind of go hand in hand, but I tend to want to look at bogey avoidance when it plays a little bit harder. So that's why I'm looking at that. He ranks second in that and first in par 5 scoring. I mean, everything suggests that Patrick Cantlay should be on track to potentially win 3rd, 11th, and 35th for his course history. And Daniel Berger, honestly, guys, in this price run range, Daniel Berger absolutely makes a lot of sense. All right, 10.5 for Daniel Berger is really, honestly, a little bit too cheap. Defending champ and a 5th place finish. Look at all the key stats. 13 straight made cuts in a row. 40th in ball striking, 2nd in good drive percentage, 3rd in bogey avoidance, and top 10 in par 5 scoring as well. Now, the one worry with him is going to be his back. Okay, we need to get a report on his back. Is his back actually injured or not? That is the worry with him. Because, well, with with Daniel Berger, we didn't receive any word as to, how much his back really affected him too much just yet. We saw in round 3, he was like really stiff with his back and then shot a -4. And then in round 4, same thing. His back was really stiff, especially at the start. It did seem like as the round went on, he was kind of fine, but I kind of question, would he be playing in this event if he was fully healthy or if he wasn't the defending champ? Because I don't think he's fully healthy. That's the only question, because like if he was playing in this event and wasn't the defending champ, I'd be like, oh, he's fine. But since he's the defending champ, you kind of want to defend your title. It's a little bit worrisome. If he wasn't injured, I would just say, go ahead, Patrick Cantlay, Daniel Berger, we're done with it. We're good to go. After that, I actually do really like Jason Day here as well. Jason Day, look at that though, not the best staffing in the field. So that is going to be the worry with him. Actually, 54th best staffing in the field. The reason why we like him is because he's come on strong as of recent. Recent form rate 34th, that's not good. But 3rd place last week, 49th place the week before that. Was playing decent golf prior to his missed cut as well. Course history, though. Obviously, we're chasing that course history. 7th, 4th, 4th, 2nd. And the thing that we can kind of hang our hat on as well, the specialist rating. So for the specialist rating, I was bringing in short course specialist, slower green specialist, California scoring, players that have played the best on California courses. And then I was also looking at seaside style courses. Those are the 4 kind of characteristics I'm putting into that stat. He ranks 3rd best in the field. So yes, that's going to be appealing. Now, I don't think we should go crazy with it. Don't go crazy with it, but I do like him as a pick. And then Justin Rose. So Justin Rose I want to highlight as well, because Justin Rose, recent form ranked 5th. I mean, he's been a stud. 9 straight made cuts in a row, a 6th and a 33rd place finish for his most recent starts. That's kind of underselling it a little bit, to be honest with you. But, ball striking could be a little bit better there. 56, good drive percentage, 39th. Bogey avoidance, he has been making some bogeys. That is going to be the worry with him. And, not exactly scoring on par 5s. But once again, look at the specialist stat. Top 10 there. Top 12 staff at overall still. So I got some other stats on the back end, like strokes gain, approach, and then effective scoring also coming into play. And that's probably why he's popping up as a top 12 staff fit. So overall ranks, I was the 3rd best pick here in the 9-5 model. I do like that. I wish he had some recent form. That does worry me a little bit. Now just getting into a quick fade, I guess, if you will. I don't exactly love it because I could see him winning. All right, so I do want to get into a quick fade that I have for you guys. Now, it's not one that I love, but, DraftKings did a great job with their pricing, really since the past year now, I guess. But we'll get into the fade. Honestly, though, real quick, touching on the whole DK pricing thing, I was looking at Nick Taylor from his win in 2020. He was like $7K, and he was like a top 10 pick in the 9-5 model and ended up being a top 5 play, 125 to 1. I mean, that is where DraftKings has really improved. It's like little sneaky plays like that just don't occur anymore. That's why we get someone like Seamus Power and Cameron Tringale actually priced up nowadays, which, it is kind of a completely different base nowadays. But the player I want to fade, it's not going to be Kevin Kisner. I was kind of thinking about actually fading him, but I couldn't do it. So we're actually going to talk about fading Willie Z. So the worry with him is just the mental aspect of it. He's the 2nd highest priced player on the slate. Okay, do we worry about that with him? Didn't do well putting. We know that. Hasn't done really too well at this tournament in the past. So 55th and 68th players finished. Sure, he's made the cut, but kind of has struggled. And maybe that's like the Pro-Am side of it. I'm not exactly sure. Played well at the American Express. 6th place finish there. So overall, he's not a bad pick. Ranks top 20 out in the model. It could be a little bit better, recent form rank, course history wise. That miscut at the Shriners is really kind of hurting him there. But other than that, really not a bad pick. The problem with it is the mental aspect of it. That 2nd place finish, really the painful missed putts there, like from really the third to fourth round on. It was just like he had that tournament won. You could say the same for Luke List, but he ended up winning. So with Willie Z, it's like, where is he going to be at mentally after that? That's going to be my worry with him. And it's like, yes, if Daniel Berger's back is going to be an issue, we'll probably fade him as well. But right now, as it sits, it's like Patrick Cantlay, you just want to play him because you know what you're going to get out of him. With Willie Z, I'm kind of worried about him because you don't know where he's going to be at mentally. So I'd much rather just kind of pay down for some of the safer plays that are, had just as much upside. Although, man, he put on a clinic there with his ball strike, and that was absolutely insane. So I don't exactly love the fade, but I kind of want to give you guys a fade. But let's get back into the player pool here. We're going to get into the mid-tier plays. So let's get into those mid-tier price point plays. And honestly, guys, I almost just said fade the mid-tier because you don't have to play the mid-tier this week. It's not that good of a price point range, and it's kind of evident by how the players are ranking out here. So Ryan Palmer, I do like Ryan Palmer, but his most recent start here was a miscut. He has made 5 straight cuts in a row. We love that. Actually ranks out top 12 in recent form rank. 16th place finish last week, 12th place finish the week before that. Overall, a quality pick, and I'll be on him a little bit, but he's going to be a low exposure play because I think he's priced up a little bit too much. Same thing for Lanto Griffin. Lanto Griffin was a cut sweat last week. Ended up playing, coming up pretty clutch there on the easier of the tracks, which good thing there. And I should mention, I do think that there is going to be something to players playing on the Monterey Peninsula course first, getting off to a good start mentally and gearing up for the rest of the tournament. So there's going to be a slight edge there, I think. But Lanto, 9th and a miscut for course history, 6 straight make cuts in a row. Really not a bad stat fit as a whole, but not great. Look at that. All of his key stats that we're looking at are 100 or worse, but he ranks out top 20 in the field. That tells you how bad this field is, really. And then kind of same thing with Brian Harman. So I did say that there are some stats on the back end going on. Brian Harman, top 20 good ride percentage, 27th in bogey avoidance, but Brian Harman ranks 121st in ball striking, so that tells me he's not going to be good at stroke skin approach, which I said is also going into the key stat data. Par 5 scoring, 131st in that. Not that good in that as well. So, Brian Harman's a guy that has been playing better as of recent. 4 straight make cuts in a row, had a 3rd place finish at the AMX. He's been playing better. This should be a course that fits his style, top 20 specialist rating. Overall top 30 pick in the model, though. We don't really love that. We can get this same play a lot lower price point wise. Look at Danny McCarthy. This should be a good course for him, but coming off of a miscut here recently, and a 66th place finish as well. That has me worried about him as a pick as well. So, we can see this mid-tier price point range absolutely is not one that we have to go out of our way to play. Phrase that weird, but you guys get what I'm saying. All right, now we're going to drop into the low tier. The low tier is loaded with quality picks. Honestly, you can make a majority of your builds out in this price point range, but I want to highlight these players right here. So I want to start off with Nick Taylor because Nick Taylor has been playing pretty well, and I think he's priced down a little bit too low for a former winner. So he's made 3 straight cuts in a row here at this tournament, and it's kind of like the same course history that he had coming in. It's kind of like the same recent form that he had coming into that victory, and he was a little bit better stat fit coming into that week. Actually, he was a lot better stat fit, but still top 35 pick in the 9-5 mile this week. Former winner that probably should make the cut. 4 straight make cuts in a row. If you look at kind of his recent starts, they've all been solid. Okay, none of them have been great. I know I'm talking about at this price point range. So I do expect him to make the cut, and he does do a little bit better specialist rating-wise, top 30 there. But I do want to talk about Matt Kuchar, who, yes, Matt Kuchar is going to be a core play. Did you guys see that coming? Matt Kuchar core play? Because I didn't. I did not when I started this week. But at the start of this season, remember I said I think Matt Kuchar is going to be kind of the comeback player of the year in the sense of he had a down year last year. He's going to have a much better year this season. I said that about Charlie Hoffman the previous year, and ended up coming true. So let's look at Matt Kuchar here. So we can see over the past year, 10 missed cuts. That's not good, but recently has been playing much better. We can see 4 straight make cuts in a row. For Matt Kuchar, we do like that. 5 straight make cuts in a row, actually. So we do like that. Course history-wise, 22nd, 16th, 38th, and 62nd place finish. So strong course history there. Overall, not a bad pick. Looking at the specialist stats there, he is someone that pops out to me, though. Recent form rank gets skewed a little bit, I think, because of those 5 straight make cuts in a row for the data that we're pulling in that sample size from, but still pretty solid. We look at the specialist range, top 12 there. Pretty strong stat fit. So I'll go back into the cheat sheet so we can see those specific key stats for Matt Kuchar. Bogey avoidance 95th, that's okay. Good drive percentage 51st, that's okay. Par 5 scoring, that could definitely be better there. And then ball striking, that could be better. So what this is telling me is that his effective scoring and his stroke gained approach numbers must be pretty good, and that's why he's pulling in, pretty well stat fit wise as well. But top 12 there, stat fit wise. And then Lucas Glover I actually like as well. So Lucas Glover we can see, and he's also going to be a core play for me. So 7th in ball striking, 9th in good drive percentage. Bogey avoidance, not that good. That's going to be our worry there with him. And then 42nd in par 5 scoring. So we like that there from Lucas Glover. Recent form has been kind of solid. 3 straight made cuts in a row, 33rd, 5th, and 35th place finish course history wise. 50th, 7th, and a 9th. Or 50th and the 7th, and overall range style 9th best pick in the 9-5 mile this week. So I do like him. And then just rounding it out, Chez Reavie. So Chez Reavie I went with more so for course history purposes. And if we were to look back at the U.S. Open as well, he made the cut there as well. But 16th, 25th, 38th, and 2nd place finish for course history. Overall, good drive percentage, 21st, 78th, and bogey avoidance. Par 5 scoring could be better there. Ball striking could be better there. Recent form could be better there as well. But overall, top 20 pick in the 9-5 mile this week. So I really don't mind Chez Reavie this week. And I also am going to be on Troy Money Merritt. Might be putting an outright bet on Troy Money Merritt as well. He's looking like a good pick. But now let's get into the value plays. Okay, so I kind of have to cheat here with one of the value plays because there's only 3 that I kind of liked. So really what I think the strategy here is going to be Patrick Cantlay, 7K range. That's it. So Wyndham Clark I do like, though. Casually made 6 straight cuts in a row. I don't really know how. He just has. We can see recent form hasn't. It's been okay. 56th place finish, 13th place finish in his most recent starts. Course history-wise, 18th and 61st place finish. He does actually rank out top 15 in the 9-5 mile this week. I don't know. I don't know if I exactly trust that. The problem that the models having this week, or that I'm having with the model this week, is that all the players are pretty much the same, where the difference between a play is very minimal. And I guess that comes with 2 things. The where we're at in the season, and then also the quality of players in the field, because they're all kind of, they're playing in these events for a reason, and they're just not as consistent. So one player might have a good round, in this certain area one week, and then the next week that might fall off. That's what's happening here. But I don't mind Wyndham Clark. He's a fine pick. Lee Hodges. Lee Hodges is someone that, look at the AMX, had a top 3 place finish there. Don't mind that. And I'm kind of hanging my hat on good drive percentage, ball striking there, 71st and 30th there. Don't love him, though. And then Ryan Armour. Ryan Armour, 2 out of 4 make cuts here. He's someone that does, keep the ball in the fairway, hits greens, ball striking is decent, not going to make many bogeys. I'm fine with Ryan Armour as a pick. If he's someone that you guys end up on, like trying to close out your builds, I'm perfectly fine with it. And I do want to get into one more fade, and I think some people are going to dislike it. The fade is actually going to be Ming Woo Lee. Okay, so not going to pull him up here or anything. The thing that is going to make him a fade is the fact that we just haven't seen him on the PGA Tour. All of his success has come on that DP Tour as of recent, and it's been really solid. But over and over again, we see these players on the DP Tour kind of struggle when they first come over to the U.S. before they kind of establish themselves over here and play over here for quite a bit. So, he could easily go out and play well. That wouldn't be shocking, but my typical strategy with, players like that is to just wait and see how they actually play. And then if they do play well, then we can use them. But, just wait and see approach. I don't think it's going to hurt you. If you want to put an outright bet on him, you can. I don't think that's the approach I would go with, but you could definitely do that. So just looking at some players we can put in to our build. So, Patrick Cantlay, core play, I already mentioned that. I definitely like him. And then Matt Kuchar, core play, I already mentioned that, like that approach as well. And then let's see here. So that's the problem. It's like we really don't have spectacular plays. They're all quality picks, but we don't have like anyone that we really want to go out of our way to play on the top and that we feel great about. Like I like Justin Rose. He should definitely go on and play well, and I do think he will, so we'll put him in there. So we got our 3 players so far, and then Lucas Glover. And then, from there, what do we do from there? Because it gets really interesting, and it really gets tough to make a quality build from that point on. So let's see here. I don't know, Matthew Naismith, he's a guy that I've always liked. We could put him in there. And then Vincent Whaley, that's going to be too much. Let's scroll down here. Just put someone random in there. Aaron Baddeley. Sure, whatever. We don't want Aaron Baddeley. But that's kind of the point this week, is that really make your build based off 5 players and then kind of fill in where you need to, because once again, 3 starts, we get 3 rounds out of a player. That's going to be huge, because it's just going to be about getting those points, getting those bonus points from a first and a second, and maybe, you know, top 10 finish from the, you know, core plays in your lineup. And that's going to be the approach that I think we should go with this week. That's all I have for you guys for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. If you guys want to join 9 to 5 Nation, the best value in PGA DFS, $10 a month out there gives you access to all the tools that we have. You know, that first round leader, you guys can take a peek at that. The cheat sheet here, we got it covered for you. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. And as always, let's keep cashing.